Hello guys, and welcome to the 17th video in this series. So this video is going to be talking about what the hell, flow of control. So this video is not particularly overly important because I think everything inside of this video has already been covered in some sort of way throughout on this series, but just for completeness sake, I'm going to be following what is inside of this Rust by example book, which means we're going to be covering everything inside of here. And so the next thing we have is flow of control. So we're just gonna go over each and every one of this. All right, so we're going to talk about flow of control. So we have a lot to cover in this, so let's just run right through. And I'm going to delete all of this code, just like that. Now, what do we need? So let's talk about if else. If else is pretty simple. Well, we have a boolean expression. If we want to do something, run a code block. If we don't, run the else block. Okay, so it's just like this. Age equals 17. And we're gonna say if age is greater than or equal to 18, print line, you are old enough to make decisions for yourself. All right, so else we could say something like print line, you're still young, go get a parent. And what is this? Right, so let's say we're writing a program that checks for people's age to determine what to do. So if you run this program, of course, because the age is 17, if you run this now, you're gonna see that it's going to say you're still young, go get a parent. And if I change this to something like 21, you're gonna see that the person is old enough because it's over 18, and it's going to say that you're old enough to make a decision for yourself. All right, so this is exactly what if and else statements does. Now you can see the difference between if and else statement in Rust and some other programming languages like Java or C++ is that it doesn't require parentheses, and if you put parentheses in there, it's actually going to complain. So it's going to tell you that, you can see here, it's going to say unnecessary parentheses, and it's going to really request you to remove those parentheses. All right, so you don't need parentheses to write your if expressions inside of Rust, and that's what if statements are about. And if statements doesn't always have to have an else block, just like this. All right, so just to know that. So if is just like if something is true, if a boolean expression evaluates to true, do something. All right, so if you want to do something, if that's not true, then that's when you have an else block. All right, so I guess that makes a lot of sense, right? But what if we also want to check something else? So we want to do something like else if age is greater than or equal to 17. All right, so we're gonna be like let's see. So I'm gonna do something like you're almost there, just a year to go. All right, and then so the idea is that what is this? It shouldn't be an error. Anyway, I don't know what this is about. Right, so the idea is that if you want to have if statements like this, and you still want to have some other if, so for example, if the person is older than 18, you want to say they're old enough. If they're 17, you want to tell them that what, you're almost there, just a year to go before you can actually be, say you're independent. But if you're not, if you're less than 17, or anything below 17, you're still too young. But when you're 17, you're almost there. We're gonna want to encourage you to say that you're close. So if I do 17, for example, then I'll get out of my face. So I want to hit the run button to make sure that this compiles and runs. So you see you're almost there, just a year to go. So depending on if and else if, and then the else block is gonna run last. All right. So that's for if and else if and whatever statement. We have the loop, which is pretty simple. Loop is the simplest. It's just a loop that runs infinitely. So loop, for example, you can do print line. I'm not gonna run this because it's just going to loop indefinitely. Loop If I run this, you're gonna see that I'm gonna run it just so you don't think I'm lying. So he's gonna see loop. He's gonna show show up all over the place. As you can see here, it's still looping. By the way, like I said, I'm going to kill this because it doesn't make any sense for me to leave a program that will just keep looping nonsensically. But that's what loop does. It just runs an infinite loop, and that's all. But actually, there's something cool about having a loop. All right, I could actually try to return a value. So I could say something like counter. So you're probably wondering how the hell is this useful? Well, let me just show you. So having a loop like this, I'm gonna have let mute total equals 0. So I'm gonna say if total is greater than 10, break total. All right. So what am I doing here? So I'm just gonna say total plus equals 21. Oh, let's just say total plus equals total. I think this makes a lot of more sense. And now you can print line counter is and then counter. So what am I doing here is we're just looping until total is greater than or equal to 10. All right, this is probably gonna go like what, 3 or 4 iterations. Well, let's just find out. So if I run this program here, you're gonna see that we're gonna get, okay, I think it's not gonna stop. And why is that? That's because total is 0. All right, so if we start total off as 1, then that's just gonna be, we keep adding 0 to it, so that's why it's not changing. So let's just go back and fix it, and we should get counter is 16. All right, because if you add 1 to whatever until total is greater than or equal to 10 before this loop is going to terminate, and so you see total of 16. If you run it again, you should get the same result to say your program works properly. And that's pretty much it for loops, and that's pretty much mostly what you can do with them. Right, so we also have while loops. So a while loop is pretty simple. It's just while a number is, while a Boolean expression evaluates to true, perform whatever is inside of the block, as simple as possible. For and range. So for and range works on iterables or iterators. So for n in this particular range, so it's going to take 1 to 100 because 101 is exclusive. All right, as you can see, and we take the values 1 to whatever, so it's going to execute whatever in this loop for as many values is inside of this iterable. So this is called a range, the dot notation, and that's pretty much how it works. So you can see 4 is iterator, so you can see iterator. So what for how many values is inside of this iterator, it's going to execute this block. That's pretty much it. All right, and that's all you need to know about for and range. Now match statements. So match statements is like switch statements in other programming languages. So if you've seen switch statements before, switch statement just allows you to match a particular expression or value and then evaluates the result. And that's pretty much what matches are. So you see you have the match arm, you have this, and then you have this, and then you have the whatever you execute inside of the match. All right, so you can see we also have this or, which matches several values. So for example, here I'm saying match 2 or 3 or 5 or 7 or 11, and then we're printing it out. All right, so we have also match 13 to 19. All right, which makes a lot of sense, and then something like that. And so this one is what is called the catch-all thing, the catch-all arm. Okay, you can see it here. So the catch-all arm is what allows you to catch any value that is not a number. All right, does that make any sense? Yep, exactly. So that's how matches work. All right, a match can match anything. It doesn't have to be Boolean or whatever. It matches any value that is actually representative of the match arm inside of the block. So that's all. If let. So if let is actually for destructuring values. We've used it in a couple of videos before. So for example, let's say we have something like let value equal to some 20. So we want to get the value inside of there. So we could do if let value if we let some value equals to value. All right, so we could print line the value is value, just like that. And just to make sure that, just to show you that this is not cheating, this is actually just gonna do the refactoring, rename this thing. I'm just gonna change this to like variable or whatever, right? So you can see now that the variable is storing the i32 that is inside of this what is it called, that is inside of this option value. So generally you cannot access what is in an option, because the option is an enum and can contain different variants. So it contains some and none. So if you want to get the values, you can do what is called destructuring by reading what is inside of this enum and then using it outside of there. And that's all you need to know about if let. That's pretty much what if let does. All right, that's it. All right, so while let, well, while let is just like if let, but it also allows you to evaluate something that is optional. So for example, let me see. So let's say we have let number is 0, sum 0. All right, so we could do something like while let what's this, sum value equals to number. So what does this mean exactly? I'm gonna show you in a minute. So we could do something like if num is greater than if value is greater than or equal to 10, I'm going to say num equal to none. All right, so value plus value plus equal to 1. All right, so what am I doing here? I'm simply, what is this, not value, what is this, num, get out of my face, num equal to sum this. Right, so what am I saying here? I'm simply saying that I want to keep incrementing, right, so I want to keep incrementing whatever is inside of this option type, which is num, and then if it's greater than or equal to 10, I want to stop. All right, so let's see what that gives us. So it shouldn't be greater than or equal to 10 if this actually works. So num dot wrap, because I want to get what's inside. I'm gonna run this and then I'm gonna see that we should probably get 9. Oh no. All right, so we have none, right? So we have none, and so this is only going to loop for 10 times, because so I'm just gonna say, let's just make sure that we have the final value out there. So I think this is going to loop i32 is 0. So num is none, and then final value equals to value, right? So this should give us something like 10. I think this should be 10. So final value, and now running this should get us what we want. So we should see 10, right? So we see 10 here, just as we expect, and that's what while let is for. So while let some value is true, we want to get whatever is inside of that enum variant and then use it inside of the expression. That's how that works, right? So that is all for this video, and I recommend, if you want to learn more about this, you can definitely check out the Rust by Example book. It's a really cool book. You know, it's got lots of short stuff. I would recommend you read this instead of reading the Rust book if that's too big for you, because that contains about 600 and something pages. So right, if that's something you're interested in, you can check that out. Anyway, that will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe, turn on the notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.